Hi there, welcome to your Pick a Deck, Pick Your Love Message. It's me here, Krystal Clear, happy to deliver this love message for you. So if you pick deck 1, let's get into it. I'm going to start by pulling 5 cards for your overall love message from Spirit. So we have the 8 of Earth, the Page of Earth, the Wheel, the High Priestess, and the 9 of Cups. Okay, so if you picked this first deck, love, relationships may not necessarily come easy. It can sometimes be a lot of work, but all good things are worth the work in the space and the wait in between. And from what I see from this, and we'll get into each card, this comes to you to remind you that just because there are hardships, just because we have to learn to, if you're in a relationship, we have to learn to coexist. If you're not in a relationship, we have to learn how to communicate to see if a partner has the potential that we need in a commitment and in a long-term relationship. And so I do feel like you have done a lot of work to identify your needs for relationship, starting with the Earth, the 8 of Earth, which is like the 8 of Pentacles. Your dedication to knowing yourself, to healing as much of you as you can, knowing that, of course, it's like an onion and there's layers that evolve as we do. You've been really going deep into your work and setting yourself up to have successful relationships, to have meaningful partnerships. A lot of that is guided by the work that you have done. And that doesn't mean if you're in a relationship, that doesn't mean that your partner has not. And if you're not yet in a relationship, that doesn't mean there won't be work, with this new connection that comes in. It simply means that Spirit has been preparing you, and in your partnerships, you are often seen as the leader of communication. When I see the High Priestess, you're very intuitive, so people might often come to you for your perspective. I also see that there's a lot of harmonized relationships, either that you have in your life or that you desire to have. And so you're very empathic, you're very connected, and you've done so much work to be this person that your relationships will show for the work. And if you don't see that yet, then this is your encouragement, especially with the Wheel, that things are shifting in that favor. So the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Earth, there are things to learn. Whether you're in a relationship, relationships evolve and we evolve. And as we learn things, we then have to learn how to integrate them with other people. And so this message, regardless if you're in a relationship or not, is all about the work that it takes to sustain relationship, to grow in relationship, to start relationship, to transform the relationship. Sometimes people have this perception that a good relationship or a strong relationship is something that is easy and effortless and we just vibe. And all of those things may be true. It's just not without work. We don't just vibe with people because it's easy. It has taken time to release the conditions, to be vulnerable, to open up expectation, to come up with agreements. All of this is part of relationships and it's work. It doesn't necessarily come easy to people, although I do feel that you have been doing the work. And so maybe you're the one to lead that in your group of people, or to lead that if you are in a relationship, or if you're dating. Like when you connect with someone new, Spirit is encouraging you to lead first and foremost, not feel like you're too much for someone, to just step forward in your courageous, positive, and proud of yourself self. So with the Wheel, I do sense that there is a shift that's coming that is a positive shift, and it's an elevated place. So if you're in a relationship, I do feel that this is the encouragement of shift coming, that if there has been problems or obstacles or stagnation, or whether it's with each other or together with an area in your life, you and your partner are elevating, and that shift is coming that the two of you need to feel reprieve, to feel like, a big sigh of relief, like we have turned the corner. This is very positive for things like if you're expecting to expand your family with your partner, maybe it's been challenging. The wheel is saying that there's a positive shift coming to your family vibe. If you are not in a relationship and you've been maybe dating a lot of people that you've had a hard time connecting with, or you feel like you haven't been connecting with anybody, there's a shift coming with that. Even if you and your partner are new to the relationship and you feel like it's been kind of slow moving and you're looking, for it to kind of get to the next level, the wheel is all about taking the connection that is and elevating it. So I love that the wheel comes in and it's almost like the reward for the hard work that you have been doing. And that brings us to the High Priestess. When we talk about communication, when we talk about compassion and empathy, you are guided by those characteristics. Those are parts of you that you embrace about yourself or that you have worked within yourself, and it really helps for partnership and for duality. So not to forget it. Sometimes people may be triggered by what you have to say because the High Priestess, she's not necessarily someone who is most comfortable to communicate with because she sometimes knows things that she seemingly isn't supposed to know because she's very intuitive. And you might call people out and hold people accountable, and that's not necessarily the easiest thing for some people if they don't want to be held accountable. But don't stop doing that and don't stop being that, and make sure that, of course, you're holding yourself accountable first and foremost. But I do feel that it's reciprocated. And with this wheel, I do feel that this shift is coming because you've stood your ground, because you've continued to follow your gut in a compassionate way, in a connected way, and in a way that feels authentic and genuine to you, blending this beautiful balance. It's also card 2, so there's like some balance of your intellect and your intuition. I feel like this really puts you in the position to receive the connection, the harmony in relationships that you're looking for. And the wheel, moving into like this second half of the reading, it says all of this hard work that you've been doing really opens up to deeper connection. And that's this final card, the 9 of Water or the 9 of Cups. It's all about, it says right on it, your wish comes true, concerns fade away, a love of life. And of course, there's going to be obstacles and things like that always to handle that we have to get through. But with the 9 of Cups and the work beforehand, it's like whether you're in a relationship or not, you are coming into a season when it comes to love and connection and relationships where it feels fulfilled. And so in a relationship, you will find that the two of you maybe vibe and jive a little bit easier. Some of the, obstacles that you've been working on either together or with each other, they tend to reach a resolution. And if you're single, I really feel like you're coming into that connection that you've been working towards. Like, I feel like you've been saying no in many places where, you could have said yes, you could have taken what was available, but you were intuitive and intelligent with your decisions, and you really held yourself accountable and held space for the right person to come into union with. And I feel like that is here for you, and that you're really starting to see that unfold in front of you. And so the 9 of Cups really brings this confirmation, whether you're in a relationship or you're single, that your relationship is elevating, it is unifying, it is coming together, there's reconciliation happening, and it really is just a positive card for love. It's one of the best in my opinion. So let's pull 3 cards here for from my love deck as we head out for Spirit's advice. Oh, we've got engagement. So talk about an elevation. Yeah, if you've been dating for a while and, you're kind of waiting and hoping for there to be the next level in your relationship, to get engaged or to be married, I do feel for some of you, this is indicating that shift is coming. No spoilers on that sacred union. But also, if you're single or if you're dating or maybe you're not quite ready for a higher level of commitment, what you engage with and the this work that you've been doing, these boundaries that you have had, what you've been engaging with is really drawing in and attracting a higher level of connection and commitment. Yeah, we've got to express your love. So I do feel like you have been, talking your walk when it comes to love, and you have been leaning in, and you've been vulnerable when you need to be, and you've been clear and, connected at the same time. The express your love indicates that your work with yourself is also allowing for you to connect with people who are in alignment with what you desire. And yeah, with the religious factors, these are all about our beliefs, our upbringing, what we think about love, and how we see love. And with the religious factors, Spirit is indicating that this relationship is finally aligning with what you see, what you have engaged in, what you have, seen with your eyes, what you have hoped for with your communication and your action. It's finally all coming together and harmonizing. So this is a very positive, if you picked number one, this is very positive for your love, elevating in a new direction. So I am wishing you all the very best, and love and light always. Hi there. If you picked deck 2, this is your pick a deck, pick a love reading. It's me here, Krystal Clear. I'm happy to deliver Spirit's message for you regarding love. We're going to start by pulling 5 tarot cards, and let's see what we get. We have the 5 of Wands, the 9 of Wands. Okay. 8 of Swords. Lover, what is going on here? Queen of Wands. We got to get that groove back. Indeed. And the 5 of Cups. Okay, so if you picked deck 2, maybe love hasn't been feeling like it's been a whole lot of love for you lately. Or maybe there's been some competition. If you're in a relationship or single, you might feel like the connection just isn't working, or it's like, do I have to fight this hard to be happy? If you're in a relationship, do I have to fight this hard for this relationship to work? If you're not in a relationship, do I have to fight this hard to be in a relationship? I'm perfectly happy by myself with that Queen of Wands. I can do this, and I don't, if someone's going to be in my life, for the singles, if someone's going to be in my life, it's going to be an opportunity for us to build, not for us to make things more complicated or more difficult, because we can be our own worst enemy for sure. And it can be challenging when we have a partner or we've met people that often bring some drama or some challenge or some competition into our life. And so with the 5 of Wands, I do feel that if you're in a relationship, you might find that the relationship is challenged at this time. And in order for there to be some movement, you'll have to decide what is best for you in this relationship. But I can see and acknowledge you're not the only one feeling that way. It's quite possible your partner is also feeling the challenge, and having some communication about this can really help move the energy. If you're single, you may be finding that you're coming into contact with people that just don't feel like they're adding, to your lifestyle, to your love. They're just not adding to your life. And I can sense that you might be at a place where you're like, I just want a little bit more. Whether you're in a relationship or not, you want a little bit more. And maybe you feel like you've been carrying the weight all on your shoulders in a relationship or single. You've been finding that maybe you've been working a little harder on the connection or to find connection than you feel you should be. And you might want to you might just want to pull back and give yourself some space, because you've been resilient, you've been working so hard, and it's really important. When I see the 9 of Wands, I automatically encourage an energy reset, which we'll talk a little bit more with that Queen of Wands, an energy reset and a physical detox. And to allow things to just be as they are. You don't have to hold it all up or hold it all together all of the time. And that's regardless if you're in a relationship or not. In a relationship, I do feel that you might be going above and beyond and then feeling like, why isn't this working out? Well, you do have to give a little bit of space for your partner to do their part. And if they're not doing their part, that's a different question. That's a different story. That's a different work to do. And if you're single, you don't have to. Who says you have to be in a relationship at this time? I know this is a love reading and you're here for that, but it's like, what's the rush? What's the worry? I would really work on seeing if there's some layers of scarcity or worry or time constraint that you might be feeling. You don't have to rush this connection, whether it's new connection or if you're in a connection and it's moving kind of slowly, you're not really sure what the two of you are. What is the rush? Go back into that me talks, take care of yourself, have some communication, but release some of the responsibilities. And so then we've got the Eight of Swords. And this is all about, definitely trying to release some of the burden that you carry. Part of it, because it is the swords, a big part of the reason why we carry so much burden is because we have to ask for help. We have to ask for what it is that we want, whether we're partnered up or single. We have to ask for what we want in a relationship. We have to ask for what we want when we're meeting someone new. We have to know what we want first and foremost, which is why it's important to take off that blindfold and a little bit more later do some of that energy work. I really feel like the Queen of Wands is going to be the key to this relationship shift that happens after that Five of Cups. But for now, in order for that shift to happen, we have to be honest about where we're holding ourselves back in a relationship, or where the relationship is being held back, where we haven't been completely honest, and what we need to ask of the people that we're dating, or we have to ask of the person we're in a relationship with, or we have to ask of ourselves and be honest about what it is that we're looking for. And then how do we look in that relationship? And then are we really aligned with that version of ourselves? And that kind of leads us into the Queen of Wands, which is all about energy. And energy is a form of expression. And it's what we use, for manifesting. It's the connection in between the space. And when Spirit is encouraging having communication and asking for what you want, it is important first to know what it is that you want. So just piggybacking on that message, think about whether you're in a relationship or not, what do you want connection to look like? And then how do you look in connection with other people, like at your highest, not how you look now, but when you look at yourself at your highest, how do you look in relationships? Are you that person? Do you feel that, for example, let's say you're like, oh, when I see myself in a relationship, I'm trusting, I'm vulnerable, I'm adventurous, and I want to go places and I want to explore. Are you doing all of those things with and for yourself currently? And are there places where you can align? The Queen of Wands is all about aligning with your empowerment and using your energy in a way to empower the vision you have for your life. So if you're in a relationship, if you feel that relationship has just been daunting and you're taking on all the responsibilities, is that how you see yourself in a relationship? If no, then what do you need to do to change that for yourself? Maybe there are some responsibilities you got to let go and see where they fall and not be afraid to hold them up. Let the cards fall as they will. And if you're singled up or you're dating and there's relationships that you're exploring, the Queen of Wands wants to encourage you to make sure that you're aligning with what feels authentic and genuine, and no better time than in the beginning of a relationship to show up exactly as you are. Sometimes when people are dating, we go into it, I don't want to say putting on a show, but trying to be what we think the other person wants to be, or we might be a little bit over the top because we want to see how somebody would respond. Maybe we put all of our information out there just to see if someone can handle it. But to be authentic and genuine and not to try to force a connection, try not to run from a connection, but to know yourself moving into connection so that you can find yourself growing within it. And finally, we got the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is like, once you have depleted all of your energy and your effort, that brings you to a place of realizing only you can clean it up. And that means within yourself first and foremost, regardless if you're in a relationship or not. The places where you're feeling all of these cups are spilled over, there's not much left for you. All of those places, you got to find what is left for you. What do I need to do for me so that I can feel 6 of cups, which is like, wow, I'm proud of myself. I'm successful. I'm making moves. I feel at peace. I feel good with this. Even if everything isn't perfect, I'm still able to celebrate and find joy. And the 5 of Cups is right before that shift. So I do feel, regardless if you're in a relationship or not, that you are coming to the end of a cycle where you may be feeling less than connected, where you may be feeling even disconnected, or like some things are out of sort. And this is the precipice of change. You're right at that place where shift happens. And sometimes this is the balance to the blessing. So let's pull 3 love cards here to wrap up Spirit's message. Yeah, heart-to-heart conversations, especially with that 5 of Wands. It's important to have honest, right? There's that honesty. The 5 of Wands and the 8 of Swords, I think it was the 8 of Swords when we talked about honesty, but to be honest with yourself and to be honest within connections with other people. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your typical and usual expectations. And that's another great confirmation with that Queen of Wands that's like encouraging you to, what is your vision? What is your vision for love? What is your expectation for love? And when was the last time you expanded on what that looks like? Can you daydream a little? Spirit's encouraging you to maybe think about different paths to connecting with your person. If you're single, like meeting someone new in a new circle of friends, doing new things to find them. And if you're in a relationship, like can you see this working out in a way that exceeds your expectation? And finally, we've got chemistry. Queen of Wands, for sure, there's a lot of energy to work with. And as we work with our energy and we do our best to align with our highest, we really do become a magnet for drawing in connection. So if you're in a relationship and you feel like that relationship is just, you guys are just misconnecting on things and you're just missing each other. You're like strangers passing in the night, or there's a little bit of disconnect, and you're willing to see that there can be a shift. Take a minute to see, what could that look like? What are you looking like in that connected relationship with your partner? And then do your best to stay in alignment with that. If you know that you're at the end of a road with a relationship, Spirit is encouraging you to still stay connected to who that Queen of Wands is and that picture for yourself. Like, to be honest, this isn't working for me in these ways, and here's why. Here's where my heart is. Here's what's important to me. And as much as this is fine, it's not the chemistry. I don't feel the magneticism that I want to. And as you end a cycle with this type of energy, you draw in alignment. And finally, if you are single, this is definitely where you are able to work your magic the most, because you basically have a clean canvas for you to, draw your art and in alignment with your heart. So if you picked deck 2, this is your love message. I'm wishing you all the very best, lots of love and light always. Take care. Hey there, it's Krystal Clear here. If you picked deck 3 for your love reading, let's get into it. I'm going to start by pulling 5 tarot cards for Spirit's message for you regarding love. So we've got the 2 of Pentacles, the World, 4 of Wands, okay, Knight of Wands, ooh, a Knight of Pentacles, There's some change happening here. If you picked this third deck, there's a positive shift happening from what I can see, people working in harmony. So I feel as if there's either a good flow in your partnership, if you're in a partnership, there's a good flow that the two of you are coming into a better balance. The work is working. If you're not yet in a relationship, the work is still working. And I feel like within these next 2 months from when you're watching this, you may find that there's either more connection coming in, but as you put yourself out there and connect with new circles over these next couple of months, if you're single, there's like new people that you meet that really feel in alignment and they make effort. And that's what I see here also with these Knight of Wands and Knight of Pentacles. There's been so much effort either on your part if you're single, or both of you if you're in a partnership, that there has been effort being made. And with the Two of Pentacles, let's start there. Spirit is encouraging for you to see where the work has been working. And not everyone has to be and not everyone in a relationship has to have the same thoughts to be successful. And with the Two of Pentacles, what I notice here is the dolphins, which are first and foremost very playful and fun-loving and joyful. So I feel like it's important for connection to be fun-loving and joyful for you, and for you to remember that about yourself. But just because you might be one sort of way doesn't mean your partner has to like the same things too. It just means that there has to be, like, there's a completion between the two of you. When you're doing a little bit of something that they like and they're doing a little bit of something that you like, there's happiness for both of you. And so if you're coupled up, Spirit just encourages this fun little idea, but maybe the two of you can put your date night, right? Because it's all about effort coming up. What are your date night ideas? And you each put an idea in a little bowl of some sort where you can each put, like, I want to go here for a date, and then your partner puts in some place. So maybe both of you put in 15 date ideas, and now you've got 30 weeks or of whatever of fun that both of you get to do. You both feel like you're making an effort for each other, for the connection, and you both feel rewarded in that way and fulfilled. If you are single, Spirit is encouraging working with like a dream board or vision board, or even putting together a physical altar when it comes to love, a physical representation. It's also important to make sure that that physical representation has like parts of you that you love, but also parts of you that you want to explore, that you haven't yet explored yet within a relationship and within yourself. And Spirit's really giving you guys some work to do if you pulled this third card, so I love that. But the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands is all about attracting and manifesting on this path. I feel like if you picked this deck, your relationship is one that is meant to be compatible. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's like the easiest and you guys are the same. It means it's compatible, it's harmonized. And that's where the world comes in. It's a beautiful card for just like working together, making outcomes happen in full spectrum. It's an awakening card where you're able to see a connection or see yourself in connection in a way that makes you feel empowered and uplifted. So if you're single, I feel as if, really taking the time to put together a visual or a physical or a tangible representation of what love looks like and feels like and what it is that you want to embrace when it comes to you. This world really indicates that you're like coming into a new step of your awakening and manifesting and aligning with your person. If you're in a relationship, the compatibility it keeps coming up. The compatibility doesn't mean that you're the same. It means that you work together. And the world indicates that as the two of you continue to work together, you will see the blessings. You will see your dreams come to fruition. Next, we've got the Four of Wands. If you're single, getting into new circles is definitely going to be helpful. This is such a fun card. Putting yourself in new circles of people. If you find yourself dating and maybe the connections haven't been exactly where you'd like them to be, finding a new social circle based on, you guessed it, your vision of love and connection and relationships. Like if you, let's say you enjoy painting, maybe you go to some sort of art expo or a paint night, and then you connect with a new friend who has someone that they want to set you up on a blind date with. Like I feel like it's a very social way for you to connect with your person if you are single, or if you're newly dating, really getting out there, trying to get out of the love bubble, and getting out and socializing and going on dates is really going to be where Spirit is encouraging to go, so you can grow in this relationship. And then if you are coupled up or want to be coupled up with your person, this is first and foremost a beautiful card for weddings and celebrations. So I feel like your love is highly celebrated. If you're planning a wedding or hoping to get married, this indicates just that positive vibe that the two of you are on the same page for the vision for the future. And if you are married or in a serious commitment, Spirit is saying, don't forget who you were at the beginning of the relationship. You know, remember your magic and what brought the two of you together. Remember who you are in this relationship and continue to nurture yourself and feed yourself within it, so that both of you can experience the fulfillment of this connection. All right, so we've got the Knight of Wands. It's important to be unapologetic in what you desire. And when it comes to desire, the Knight of Wands is all about desire and passion. The Knight is often connected to the fire energy. And then the Wands is also fire. So this is like fire on top of fire. If you're single, be ruthless almost about what it is that you want in connection. Really put yourself out, step outside of your comfort zone. You're not going to find new types of people and new types of connection doing the same things that you have done. So it's important to put yourself out there in a new way so that you can connect with new people and start to, maybe you have some other connections that rely on you a little too much and it makes it hard for you to meet someone new. So for the singles, you definitely want to get out into a new group of people. If you're in a relationship, that passion really comes back. It's not something that, it's kind of like with anything, you have to keep your mindset up. You've got to keep your focus. You've got to keep your motivation. It's the same thing with passion and intimacy in relationships and connections. If you check my description, go to my website, I have an intimacy integration which helps couples and singles tap into their sexier side, their intimate side, their passionate side, and not to be afraid to express themselves in that way, but also to be conscious about how they share in the sacred act of sex. And I feel the Knight of Wands is really just encouraging that passion in couples, connections, and it's coming back. And finally, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to just piggyback on the relationship part first before we get into singles. Part of the reason why I see the passion coming back, or Spirit indicating that there's this chemistry and this magneticism that's like coming back around, is because the two of you have been gaining each other's trust by being consistent with your efforts. You've been really showing up to each other, or your partner sees that you've been really showing up to them, or maybe you see your partner making effort. And it's a very attractive thing when you notice that your partner is making effort. And so I do feel that this confirms that the reason why that passion, if you are coupled up, is returning or growing is because there's been some confidence built in the effort that's being made. And if you're single, stepping into your empowerment and outside of your comfort zone is where this Knight of Pentacles comes in with the effort. Your effort is outside of your comfort zone and being confident there and being empowered there and being like, you know what, this isn't something that I've done or experienced. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I want to try something new. I want to shake it up a little. I want to be diligent. I want to be unafraid. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to try something else, but I'm going to keep pushing myself out of this comfort zone, keep meeting new people. And I know that along the way, I'm going to find my person. And so to be diligent, with the Knight of Pentacles if you are dating. All right, so let's pull a few more cards here from the love deck for Spirit's overall advice. We've got chemistry. Yeah, so that passion for sure is coming back, and there's definitely an alignment. Whether you're coupled up or single, there's that fire is coming back. You're remembering who you are. You're seeing the relationship for what it is. You're playing with your magic. You're growing in your energy. Yeah, because you loved yourself first. You're making that effort, right? This is a great card for that Nine of Pentacles. It's like, I love myself first, and my confidence trickles out into my relationship and my connections with others. And so as you hold that and you hold your vulnerability as strength and you continue to be disciplined and diligent for your passions, it continues to flourish and manifest and attract in. Yeah, there's that effort word that came up a whole lot in this reading. Spirit confirming that. I love it. Just, it's an inner child vibe that I get from this, like finding and remembering who you are, finding your passion, remembering who you are at that childlike level, that intimate place where you can be vulnerable, really allows for you to open up to like great love and connection. And I really feel that you're doing the work and making the effort, and that allows for this love to come back or to expand. So I hope this helps. I'm wishing you all the very best in love and light always. Take care.